Very good morning to you. Welcome to Natasha Makes. I'm Natasha, and yeah, we've got lots on the show today, actually. And tomorrow, when we go live tomorrow, we have got the very fabulous Jo Carter with us tomorrow, and she's bringing us some of her gorgeous makes, exclusive to Natasha Makes. So that's going to be 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So I hope you've had a truly lovely weekend. Gosh, it went by in a blink, didn't it? Where does time go? Because I'm looking for it, because it seems to be missing. But yeah, that's where we're at this morning. So this morning I've got fabrics for you. I've got brand new scissors and things for you, which are great fun. And yeah, and I've been trialing patterns for you. So I wanted to make I keep seeing like little box pouchy type things. I'm like, how do you make those? So I've tried various different combinations and different stabilizers and all sorts of things for you. And I'm going to show you how to make the little one, and I will put together a pattern for you to show you how to create any size that you want, be it this size, be it this size, and how to create that, because believe you me, I've gone through quite a lot of patterns this morning trying to work it all out, and I think I've got quite a neat little formula for you, but I will have to write that up later. But probably one of the team will be able to put like a physical pattern that you can buy now, and I'll get that written up this afternoon, and they can go out when our printer is fixed, because that's wanting to play up this morning. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. It knows when we've got a lot on. I'm pretty sure of it. Who have we got with us this morning? What did I do with everything? We have got Jo, we've got Rebecca, we've got Heather. Good morning to you. And Mariah and Tina, hello, and Anne and Gillian, good morning. Who else have we got? Heather and Kaz and Christine, hello. And Katrina and Severine, hello. And Laurie, good morning from a cold Suffolk. It's proper frosty here this morning. I'd left, and I really shouldn't have done it, I'd left my machine in the car, having come back from Ho Chanda, and just been too tired to take it all out. And oh, thanks, Ems. Any size zipped box style pouch. Bit wordy, just any size box pouch will do. Lovely, thanks, Ems. Christine and Bronwyn, good morning. And Natalie, oh, how's the house move going? Anyway, yeah, no, I left my machine in the car, so I was wrestling with the car doors. It was proper jammed shut. So this morning, I'm just in my warm stuff because it's really cold. So yeah, not particularly smart, but I am warm, so sorry about that. Morning, Claire. Yeah, ice on the car this morning. And you've nearly finished your huge crochet blanket. Well, that's great timing, isn't it, really? And it is a whopper, isn't it? What are you doing with it? Where's it going? Jenny and Claire, good morning. And Beverly, hello. Hello. Who else we got? Mind you, Kaz, was it... are you on a canal, Kaz? Or what sort of marina are you in? Because that would be pretty nippy, I would imagine, as well. Morning, Penny. Hello. Oh, cooking this morning, then sewing. You're in your happy place. Yeah, let's not talk about cooking. I've had a small Christmas cake based disaster. It's very upsetting. Very upsetting. I don't know why I even try and bake. I just don't know why I try. My mum said, you'll be all right with Christmas cake. It doesn't need to rise. Well, yes. But I still managed to find a way to mess it up. That's a skill, let me tell you. That takes talent. Morning, Margaret. Missing your lovely face. Not appearing on YouTube. Oh, am I not on there? Should be. Should be there. I wasn't there in the last week because, yeah. You know, we didn't have broadband last week. Someone cut our broadband wire. How random is that? Just cut it. The engineer was really hacked off about it. He's like, I'm going to have to report it. Someone's cut your wire. Yeah. Suzanne's going to watch on catch up. She's off to meet a friend for coffee. First in 9 months. Oh, I'm so pleased for you. Obviously not in tier 3 like us. Good for you. Francis, good morning. Hello, Marilyn. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Grace. Hello. Good morning, Helen. Hello. Naomi says, Natasha, your advent boxes are fab. Best ever. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Did you see what Helen did? She had one of those. Oh, I'm taking it down because the kids wanted their chocolate this morning. Choc, says pointy finger. So yeah, the little advent things that we had. She put all of hers in there. Ali, good morning, and Marion, and Christine, and Dawn, hello, and Ben as well, good morning. Morning, Susie, and Diane as well, good morning. Oh, I bet it's a bit chilly in Plymouth, isn't it? Goodness me. Hello, everybody. How very nice. Very icy Torrington. I know, where is Torrington? I think I'm getting confused because around the corner there's Torrington Avenue. It's not the same. Really not the same. Oh, Ven made her tablet stand. Oh, good. No, not too cold this morning on the boat. Oh, I'm glad to hear it. I just read Brooklyn Sprouts on your top. Oh, bit dyslexic. Do you know what? I get into all sorts of trouble with that. Yeah, like completely. Alrighty then. So, what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to make one of these for starters. Turns out there are lots of different ways to make these. I think I've tried quite a lot of them now. The easiest is if you overlock the inside. Yeah, that makes it super easy. Or if you put your over edge stitch on, then you don't have to faff about with any hand stitching. And then your finish would be, you see on this, you can actually see the seams. Let me show you this. You can see the seams. This, I was just trying to work out sort of sizings and stuff, so you can see the seams. So you've got a choice. You can either overlock that, over edge it, but you will see your stitching on the inside, or, and that's okay. You know, if it's just got your clips or whatever in it, then that's all okay. And you've got a pretty little zip on that. But if you want it so that you cannot see anything and it's all super duper neat, this is how I'm going to show you today, but it does require a little bit of hand stitching from you, okay? But that's what we're going to do today. Bink bink. They're rather sweet, aren't they? You can do them 2-tone, you can do them just 1-tone. We're going to need fabrics for them, of course, and we've got those for you as well. So, before we start any of that, if you read the newsletter, dropping it all, then you will know that I was super impressed by this company. I saw them elsewhere and I was just really impressed. Very impressed by their ethos, and having small children around, safety is paramount. And these are ceramic blades, but they're safety blades. So I feel that these are a good thing. Now, I've gone for these. So they're ceramic. They have a safety blade, which means they're finger safe. You're not going to hurt yourself touching them. Now these ones have got nice sharp point on there, so they are perfect as your needlework snips. Absolutely perfect for that. Now, this is from a company called Slice. And they did their research, and they are patent pending, depending on where you're from, and all that kind of stuff. These blades last over 11 times longer than normal steel blades, because ceramic is so much sharper. And their point is that most ceramic blades are sharpened like metal blades, but the only reason that metal blades need to be as sharp like here, as they are, is because they blunt so quickly. So with these, their grinding process is different to allow for this safety edge. But I tell you what, they are super snippy, and I will be demonstrating that later. They don't rust. That's the biggie for me. These ones will actually be going in my kitchen. Actually, I might end up buying a bigger pair for the kitchen. I might just have to have another pair. But they don't rust. There's no oil on them anywhere because they don't need it. So they last and last and last. So they are the little snips. But because they have this safety blade, how many of you are getting boxes delivered? Boxes, boxes, boxes. It's Christmas time, there's loads of boxes. Loads of us are doing lots of online ordering, or just things that we just can't manage to open. This is fab because normally I rack my knuckles. You normally see that I've got all sorts of cuts and bruises and whatnot on my fingers from opening all the boxes. This just opens out, and there is your safety blade, which allows you to just zip and open up all of those boxes. This is now in our warehouse, and you can put it a little bit out, or if you've got deeper packaging, you can put it a wider way out there. But again, you've got that safety blade on there. And here's the thing, if it gets gunked with anything, let me move that up to there for you. If it gets gunked with anything, all you simply do is take it out, pop it in a washing up bowl, and just wash it down. It's brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. I love them. Now this, there we go, this, just trying to get the camera, there we are. This is your seam ripper. Now I was using this morning, unsurprisingly something went a little bit wrong, and you use this part of the blade. It was slightly different to use than your normal seam ripper, because normally, can you see the difference? Hang on. Come on, cameras. Whoop, 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 whoop. Doesn't know what to focus in on. Shall I bring it back to here for you? There you go. You're happy over here, aren't you? So normally you need to use that little bit in there, don't you, to actually get it to cut. But here, you could use any of that part, and it didn't cut the fabric, it just cut the thread. It was really weird, but really worked. Because, you know, you've got to try these things, haven't you? I've also got the pen cutter. Again, these all have ceramic blades. And this is quite a local company to us. They're 40 minutes down the road. And I love their ethos. They supply to huge, huge, huge manufacturers for all of their warehouse cutting and box opening and all that kind of stuff. Loads of big companies have got these in. And also, because they're safety blades, you can just hang those. They've got these sort of hanging out the side of cargo trousers and stuff like that. So it's like, oh, that's good. And I've actually got one of these blades in the tack room for opening all the horse feeds, because again, they're not going to go rusty. I get through so many things in the kitchen, around the place, because they go rusty. And or I just haven't used a penknife or something for a while and it's gone rusty. Now this is your pen cutter. Again, safer than your metal blades, finger friendly, and lasts up to 11 times longer. You can get refills. And the beauty of this is that when you do need to refill, can't get it out of the packet now, when you do need to refill, it's not terrifying to do so, because that is a safety blade. So you see, I'm happy to put my finger on there. So when that blade needs replacing, then we're all good. But the actual cutting edge bit, perfect, absolutely perfect. You've got reinforced nylon handles on these, and they're ambidextrous. All of these are ambidextrous as well, and they give a percentage of their sales go to an autistic trust, an autistic charity. So you know, that's really great. Really, that works really nicely for me. I'm very happy with that. Now this tiny little blade sitting out there, as you can barely see, is your safety cutter. So you've got your ceramic blade in there, and this is absolutely perfect for, you know, the clamshell packaging? Probably what I should have opened this with. Yeah, you see, that would have done it. That would have done it, a treat. So those clamshell packages that you just can't open, keep it somewhere safe. Look, there is just a tiny, tiny blade there. But they are fab. So it's for those, yeah, it's for that difficult packaging, but you're not going to go through. So you've got your micro ceramic blade in there. Do you want to see it on? Let's have a look, shall we? So also, it's small but mighty, everybody. Small but mighty. This is one of those patterns that I didn't want to do. So if you're cutting out pattern pieces or anything like that, it's really good. It's really good. Oh, and there's another one that I was using, which is the rotary zip thing, which I've managed to leave in the kitchen because I was using it to cut all the wrapping paper. I started wrapping my Christmas presents, and this is really handy because the paper just goes in between and you just zip to whatever shape you need. They're brilliant. I have to say, I've really enjoyed these. Now, what I don't know is how thick that will go. So that will, so you can use it to scorecard as well. So that's gone through the first top layer. Yeah, that's gone through the top layer of card with that. It's going to be perfect for going through sellotape when you get packages. It's going to be perfect for going through this plasticky stuff when you get clamshell packaging, which are a nightmare, quite frankly, half the time. Or anywhere where you just need a quick slice. There it is. I've been super impressed to the extent that all of these have now... Oh, yeah. Well done, Jem. Thank you. I'm just going to go get some wrapping paper. It's okay, everyone. Whoops, I've got some here. Now then. Here we go. This could be birthday present. It could be, this could be your patterns. But again, whoops. Perhaps if I don't do it over my cup of tea. How easy is that? Super duper duper easy. And that, let me show you this because this is really cool. And so your hand is always safe. Freddie was using this. So again, this could be a pattern, but it just goes in there, and then off you go. Whoop. Yeah, we like this a lot. I've had a lot of fun with this. So again, if cutting is a thing that you just don't like to do, or you've got lots of packaging that you need to do for Christmas presents or Christmas wrap, or you do that thing with scissors where you get halfway through the Christmas wrapping paper and then it rips, that's annoying. Not with these. I've done quite a lot of cutting now. So yeah, you know when I like something because these are now all mine. They're all mine. And actually, I'm going to pop that in there. Oh, I never actually showed you. Oh, no, I did show you that. And there we go. That's my stitch unpicker going in. Very, very handy. That is going to go on a lanyard and go in the warehouse. And that I haven't finished off wrapping up my Christmas presents yet. I like them a lot. The fact that they're not going to rust, win-win. Shall we take a look at these? You've probably made these before. I was new to them because they've always looked a bit too scary to me. So I wanted to have contrast. So if you wanted to do two-tone, you can, or if you just want to have that lining fabric, or if you just want to look up our half-meter heavens, they are perfect. I saw someone put up on Facebook the other day, oh, you've got lovely fabrics, but what do I make with them? I thought we always do projects for half meters because we sell so many of them. But I will make this clear. This is a perfect fat quarter or half meter scenario. And can I also thank you last week for your patience whilst I had to deal with technology. Yeah, that was a bit scary. Now, Tula Pink. Who loves Tula Pink? I love Tula Pink. And what it also made me realise is that I really do need to get that camera angle changed. I want an overhead, proper overhead. That's what we need. But for now, we will stick with this. We will get there one thing at a time. So this is your Tula Pink. This is Snapdragon and Gold. Wildflower Snapdragon in gold with your Salt Batik. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that gorgeous? And then this is the one that I made my samples out of. There we go. There we go, there we go. There's a complete rainbow of these really this morning. I mean, like, you've got your pinks through to your oranges. But then, look at these. I've had this in my stash for quite some time. I didn't know if I could ever get any more, but I just love these colours. And they are available as at a half meter heaven price. They shouldn't really be, they should be more, but we'll gloss over that. Well, it's nearly Christmas, it's fine. And then we've got that one as well. So if you look on the website, www.natashamakes.com, you will find all of these. They will be there. You will find them. I have no doubt. And then this one isn't Tula Pink. This is Dana Designs. And I have to say, I've rediscovered a love of Dana Designs. She's got some beautiful fabric, so expect to see quite a lot of Dana Designs coming up. Do you remember we had the Naughty Monkey? We had the monkey fabric and the elephant fabric from her a little while ago. Well, I've got some more from that series. So there's lots and lots to come. So there we go. They are what we've got. They're the fabrics on today's show. We've got, of course, our new snippety snip snip snips. That can come out of the way because that's in the way. Let's pop that over there. And, oh, do you like my flowers? I realise I'm stood right in the middle of them. Yeah. They're pretty, aren't they? Oh, is the battery run out of this? I kept them on all weekend because they made me, oh no, they're still going. I just love Christmas lights and things. They might need a new battery soon, but we'll get there. There we are. Oh yeah, I got my pink trousers on. I told you I was proper in my comfies. See, if I stick here, no one can see that I've got my pink leggings on. Morning, Debbie. Hello. Who else have we got? Karen. About to start quilting my father-in-law's Christmas present. Wish you luck. I always wish anyone quilting luck. Yeah, Di's busily making Christmas presents. Good for you. Good for you. Is anybody else struggling to find us on YouTube? You might want to just refresh. Where else? Annie says she's going to have to come and teach me to bake. Right, so I didn't give you the full story of the Christmas cake. So my mum, which I think I told you the other day, made me, like when I first moved out, she put a book of recipes, like her favourite recipes together that I've loved as well. And her Christmas cake recipe was in there. And normally my mum will make the Christmas cakes. That's what she brings to Christmas every year. And of course I'm not going to see her this Christmas because stupid virus. So she's not, and she's like, I can't really post a cake. So it fell to me to get the book out, bake the cake. And it was all going swimmingly. I left the fruit in to soak for a week. I mean, the house stank of bread. It was amazing. I put in extra cherries because I love cherries, and then because I kept eating them, so I had to then keep putting them. Anyway, we got to the stage and we'd mixed up all the mix, the kids and I, and it was all looking great. But I hadn't been able to get any almonds everywhere I'd been out, so I got some. I found a packet at the back of the cupboard, popped them in, threw them in, we mixed them up, and then I was like, something doesn't smell right. And sort of ignored it, put in all of the fruit and everything else. I could kick myself. I could absolutely kick myself because I cooked it all and baked it and it looked beautiful, perfectly cooked. It wasn't too soggy, it wasn't too anything. But the almonds were rancid. They were out of date. They were out of date, and it's wrecked 2 great big Christmas cakes. I could have cried. I did cry a little bit, not gonna lie. So yeah, so for once, it wasn't actually my baking. It was just the fact that I didn't even know. Who knows the nuts go off? Who knew? I didn't know nuts went off. They go in your dry goods cupboard and sit there for years, don't they? No, apparently not. So yeah, that was. Oh, Natalie's found a cute little cottage. Oh, good for you. Good. I'm really pleased. This did they use my fabric scissors to cut the broadband? No, I would have been really cross then. Really cross. Instead, I've learned. Okay, maybe I can't say I've learned a new skill exactly. In terms of Facebook Live, maybe that wasn't my finest hour, to be honest. Potentially not, but I feel I gave it a good go. I was pretty rubbish. But do you know what? What it really proved to me is how amazing you lot are, because you were so supportive. And there is a saying that I learnt at the weekend that goes that I've got to get this around the right way. You will always say, you can never say the wrong thing to the right people, and you can never say the right thing to the wrong people. And I was like, yeah, you have to sort of sit and think about it for a bit. But it basically means that when you're with your tribe, all is good, and you can't go wrong. So, and I thought, do you know what? That's so true. When stuff goes wrong on the show or whatever, it just doesn't matter with you lot, because you understand and you get it. And so that just helps make this a really safe space and a really lovely space. So thank you, I think, is where I get to with all that. Oh, Naomi, sneaky peeking whilst at work. Right. Oh, yep, everything should be up and running on YouTube. There we go. Oh, Jacqueline's got to go out today. Yeah, now, Elizabeth, you can put bias tape on the seam. But here's the thing. We're just talking about the seams on this. You can, but you've got like a I shape, capital I shape seam. So this is why. If you do put bias on there, then just bear in mind you're going to go through quite a lot of layers, and then when you go through across that, you're going to go through even more layers. Now, this was just a sample for me to just check patterns and check measurements and everything else. So I wasn't too worried, and I may well go back in and neaten those up later. So yeah, you absolutely can. That's what I mean. There are so many ways to make these. And so the way that I've chosen, I feel, is possibly the neatest and easiest, that you can leave until you've got an evening of hand stitching that needs to be done. And then you're all good. We're all good. So shall we go with this one? This is a lovely zesty one, isn't it? And we'll have to take the stock down by 1, please, because I'm about to go in. I'm going in. So what I am going to do, I will layer up to make the cutting a little bit quicker. Now, what I would say to you is your width should be dictated. So this bit here, this measurement here is going to be dictated by the length of your zip. So if I use these, and we've got these on the website, by the way, in packs of 5, various colours. So if I measure that, I know that that is an 8-inch zip, but it's a 9-inch zip tape. And it's to the zip tape that you want to measure. Now next week we've got a whole load of any size zips. That's coming next week with next week's project, but you'll be able to use those for this if you want to do something huge, something small, and then you've always got the right size zip. So with this I was a little bit dictated to by the size. So like with this one, that's 11 inches. So that was the width of the fabric that I used for that. But this is just 9 inches. So, whoops. I'm going to throw that packaging away because I'm going to keep them because I like them. Now, the other thing that I did that I haven't actually had a chance to replace yet, when I was getting all of my show stuff out the car at Ho Chanda last week, I dropped my rotary cutter. Oh my gosh, the blade shattered everywhere. So all I could grab this morning was my itty bitty one. So I don't know actually if that will go through all those, no it won't. It will not. And I don't know what have I done with all my other rotary cutters. What have I done with them? That's not gonna work, is it? Don't know. I think they're all still packed in the car. So I'll have to go through these one at a time, I think. So much for layering up to save time, hey? The annoying thing is that I know that just out there, there's a whole box full of brand new rotary cutters. But part of me is like, that's stock, that's really lazy. Really lazy. You're not just going to go and get that just because you can't bother to put a new blade in the one that shattered. But also I'm a little bit nervous to go near the shattered blade because it looks a bit vicious, if I'm honest. What did I say? 9 inches. That was what I said, wasn't it? But again, that's the measurement that you're going to go with. There we go. Small but mighty. Small but mighty. A bit like Gemma, who works with us now. Small but mighty. She's organising me. It's very much needed. She was the one that was last week. Natasha, don't show people the mess. So when I had a little tidy up and the new dresser went in, everything else just went on the floor. And of course I've been so busy that everything is still just on the floor. But I've got to tidy up before Joe comes tomorrow. I don't want Joe to see how messy I am. So that's my job for after the show, is to tidy everything up. It was meant to be my job after the show last week, but I got distracted. It's really boring. I hate tidying up. Really hate tidying up. So I don't do it. It's as simple as that. But I will. You can ask Joe tomorrow. Oh, come on, you. Oh yeah, let's just do. I'm going to have to go in with this because the blade, bless it, it's just too tiny to cope with the stripology and the layers that I'm making it cut. There we go. There we go. We get there in the end. One way or t'other, hey. I'll have to use my cutting mat. There's always a way, isn't there? So if you're used to me using the stripology and go, oh, I don't have one of those, well, you'll see how much time it normally saves. Right, let me put those to one side. So the outer and the inner are going to be exactly the same size. We will trim them back and away we go. It's a good job I've got a lot of rulers, isn't it, eh? Aren't I lucky? There we go. And I'm going to make mine, because I can, I'm going to make it 15 inches. So I'm going to line that up on my 10-inch line because my zero's got my whatever on it. And if I'm not using my stripology, then I'm going to use the lines on my mat. Don't ever worry about doing that, but just pick one or t'other. So that means I'm going to have to come up to 25 here. That'll be it, won't it? Which means that this can be a scrap project. This can be a fat quarter project. This could be when you've finished off a quilt, but you know you've cut your strips for a quilt, but you've got a bit left. Perfect. All works, an absolute treat. I'm going to give that a quick press now. Now, what I've found is that this has just got fusible fleece on it. And it's okay, but actually you can see how sturdier that is to have medium weight interfacing on it and your fusible fleece. You could just use your offcuts of fleece off an old quilt or whatever. It doesn't have to be anything posh. Okay, it really doesn't. What have I got down here? Dink, 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 dink. Oh, well, that's not long enough. That's annoying. Is this going to be? Now, take 1/2 inch off your measurements for this. That's what I'm going to suggest that anybody does here, is take 1/2 inch, for the simple reason that it's just then less bulk when you do get sewing. So if I cut to 15, I'm going to cut to 24 and a half, so 14 and a half. That's where I'm going with that. And that just gives me my 1/4 inch seam allowance. It's the only reason that I'm doing that. And then let's just even these up. It's the thing with wadding, it's always slightly temperamental, isn't it? And can get pushed out of place a little bit easily. So let's go back on my 10 line. So if that was 9-inch zip, then I want it to be 8 and a half. Oh, by a gnat's whisker. It was obviously meant. Now, sometimes, you know, I will pre-cut all of this stuff, but there are just a few little things that I wanted to just get you to take into account as you're doing it, that you might not have done otherwise. Let me just take that edge off there. And let's cut that to, so again, it's not going to be the 15 inches. I'm going to take 1/4 inch off each side. So I'm going to cut it at 1/2 inch less. It's all the maths. Wasn't quite ready for maths this morning. A lot of head scratching happened. I was like, there's got to be an easy way to do this. Like, they're really pretty and loads of people make them. I was like, surely there's a nice easy way to make these. Right, medium weight interfacing back in stock. Hurrah. And this now just needs to be, I can't remember which way around I cut all these things. It's helpful, isn't it? Ba 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 ba. That and that. Come on. There we go. Chop that up there. So that's what I'm going to use. That goes back into the scrap box. They are my 2 pieces of interfacing. So I've got fusible fleece and then I've got medium weight interfacing. I would go the medium weight interfacing on your lining. But this is what we're going to do. Depending on the size of this, we're going to fold it in half, because it's got box bottoms. It's all boxed, isn't it? That's the whole point of this, is that it's all boxed. So it's on a fold. Go on, you. Fold it in half, and we're going to do these for the fabric pieces as well. Fold it in half, and then fold your edges in to the middle, a bit like you do when you're making binding. Well, no, exactly like you do when you're making binding, not a bit at all. It's exactly like it. I do just want that and that. There we go. So into that middle bit there, and just finger press it. Now, on these pieces, on our outer pieces, they're going to be, let's think about this, they're going to be, we're going to cut out a square of 1.5 inches, and that's going to give us that boxed bottom, and that's just appropriate for this size. But of course, you've got to take into account that we then want it to be a bit wider, because we don't want it on that seam. So instead of cutting at 1 inch by 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches, I'm going to go 1.5 inches in. There we go, this is the way around I want my ruler. 1.5 inches in, which is fine, but I'm going to then add on the long side an extra 1/4 inch. You'll see. We've already taken off 1/4 inch when we cut it all the way around, so I don't have to do that for the height of it. You might just want to go in with some little snips there. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Bear with me. So whatever size you are making the little squares that you're going to cut out, and I will draw these so that you can see. This is the beauty of creative grids. There we are, is that you can draw it on, because you've got your 1.5 inches, so that's always going to show. And then I can just snip those out. That's probably easier with my sharp little snips. There we go. And then you're going to repeat that on the other side. Okay. So you do this for all your lining pieces. So I'm just lining that up to that midline point, because that's the point where the zip is going to go. And so then, I mean, gosh, if you want to use that as your template piece, then you can. You can do that as well. That speeds life up, doesn't it? Now I will, of course, when I do this with my outer and my lining, be super careful and super accurate. But this is my lining, this is my interfacing, so I'm not as worried. Just as long as there is interfacing on there, we're all good. These scissors are good, I like these. Right. So you get a weird shape like that. I know, it's weird, it's found, it's odd, it's fine, is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to put that on the lining. So again, this is how we're going to create our pattern. There are loads of patterns out there with the sizes dictated to you. That's absolutely fine. If you want to find one of those and go with those, then that's great. But this is a way that means that you can do it to your size. So if you only have a certain size zip, like I did this morning, and none of the patterns that anyone has done out there happen to have your size zip, it's really annoying. So I was just like, I will just create my own. So, you know, in the obstinate way that I do. It's fine. Because, you know, I couldn't even use any of theirs as a sort of a guideline. So I'm going to fold into the middle, fold into the middle, and then press. So you are going to create your own pattern. That's what we're doing here, which I prefer to do. So into the middle, I would press. It just means then that everything is going to stay where you need it to stay. If you want to best press, then do. Let's do the lining first then. So open it out, no, keep it shut rather. And this time you're just going to draw in on each corner that 1.5 inches. Okay. And then you'll see that it comes together remarkably quickly. It's just the cutting side of things that just takes a little bit of time. But I think I'm going to, I also had fun with the lace zip, because then with that I would just bind the edges or do that, because then you can just sew that top seam. I'll show you in a minute, and you're all good to go then, because you just sewed the zip onto the top. Snippety snip. Should probably use a bigger pair of scissors, shouldn't I, for this? They are really just thread snips, but these are your bigger ones. Scissor for every occasion. Spoilt rotten. It's the dream, living the scissor-based dream. I think I am a stationery girl, and I have to say that I love my stationery, and that goes for scissors, it goes for blades for cutting paper as much as anything else. Just love it. Now when I open this up, look, there we go, I've got the same shape. So I'm going to get my interfacing, and now you can see why we did that little bit extra. Can you see? That's why. Oh no. I'm going to fuse it first and then show you. That'll do it. That ought to do it. So on the wrong side of my fabric, popping my interfacing on. It's been one of those mornings. It's all good. Just very, very quickly do that there. And then I'm just going to flip it so I can do it properly from the other side. There we go. Dee, 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 dee. I was trying to think, I'm thinking about Ali saying she needs to come and teach me to bake. Yes, I'm also hoping that my kids will learn to bake, so that's fine. Stephen cooks brilliantly, so that's all good. There you go. That's that. So you've got your 1/4 inch all the way around. And then we're just going to, again, fold this in half, press, fold into the middle, and then cut out those squares. So the size of the square will dictate how deep your boxing is. Like when you box the bottom of a bag, it just gives it more, what have you? What have you? There we go. Finger press, and then back onto the mat. I love this. This fabric is so gorgeous. I just love the simplicity of it, the detail that's in there, and then just the simplicity of the design. But of course Tula Pink has worked her magic with the colours. I haven't had much Tula Pink, have I? It's been a funny year in terms of actually getting fabric, and Tula's has been at times really quite tricky to actually get hold of. So I'm super pleased when I saw this. It's like, yeah, get me a bit of that. All right, so again, I'm going to go in and do those little corners. Where's my perfect 5? That's what I need. Okay, do you know what? I leave half my stuff at Hochanda. It's very annoying. Right, okay, let's go in again. But it would have been perfect for this. So again, cutting that 1.5 inches. Bink, bink, bink. There we go. So how many of you have been out shopping? How many people are allowed out shopping? Stephen left today to take the kids to school saying, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and then I'm going Christmas shopping. What? I'd like to tell him I'd done it all. It's done. Done. I don't know what he's buying. I think he's just excited to be in a shop again. So, yeah. I was like, alrighty then. Maybe he'll buy me a Christmas cake. I know, I did even, because you know, our lovely Jane Alcock, she used to be a pastry chef, and as well as a general chef, I think, but because they used to run a pub, and yeah, I did say, Jane, just come and taste this. Is it as bad as I think? Because I know Jane will always tell me the truth. She's like, yeah, it is. Right then. Alrighty. Oh, I will get over it one day. It's up there with the unicorn cake gate. That was a couple of years ago, wasn't it? Gosh, do you remember how unicorn cake was? That was the year that it snowed really badly for Stitches, and I was meant to be at Stitches, and work cancelled us going, saying it was too dangerous for us to go. 5 minutes up the road. So my kids were like, in fact, no, I was pregnant with Emily. That's right, I was pregnant with Emily, and so they're like, oh yeah, we can't risk anything, and so Freddie and I decided to bake a unicorn cake. All I can say is thank goodness for icing that holds stuff together. It's pretty dreadful. And that was, yeah, that might have been when Stephen pointed out that I can only bake in 2D because stuff just doesn't rise. And I'm not a parent. Like I see parents making the most incredible cakes for their kids' birthdays. I wouldn't put my kids through it. I buy one. Know your limits. That's what I say. Know your limits. And birthday cakes, never going to happen. Never going to happen. So again, I am snipping. I have been talking, so actually I needed to snip about an extra quarter of an inch. I'm going to eyeball it. What could possibly go wrong? Right. Too busy yakking, that's my problem. I don't know why Freddie gets that sort of thing on his school report. Oh, bless him. He's gone in with all those difficult spellings today. Hope he's all right. But Monday is spelling day at school. There we go. Cut his hair as well again last night. He had like a 6-year-old Sophie's choice. He's like, Mummy, you give the best haircuts. I really don't. They're dreadful. He said, so I'd really like you to cut my hair, but I do get sweets when I go to the barber's. And I could see him weighing it up like he didn't know. He's like, so if you could just give me some chocolate, then you can cut my hair. So bless him. I like to think that his haircut is really good value for money. It'll last a long time, let's just say that. Hopefully a bit of it will have grown back for Christmas photos. Yay! But yeah, I got a bit overexcited, and then I was just committed. This is not what my mum is going to want to hear, because she's going to have wanted to have seen beautiful, beautiful photos of him for Christmas. She's not going to want to know that I've cut his hair again. Soz, Mum, soz. Right, I'm just going to trim a little bit more off that. And then we'll get on with a bit of sewing, shall we? All the other stuff's done. Oh, yeah. Get off. So I've spent quite a lot of time this weekend out in the yard. One of my horses hasn't been terribly well, so I've been out a lot with him, checking that he's all right. And just checking which is my gluey side. And yeah, gosh, this weather doesn't half take its toll on your hands, doesn't it? I do really need to get some seams on them. That's for sure. Right, okay. I just get a bit nervous when I have to flip my interfacing. If it moves a bit, you know, it's really not the end of the world. I'm just trying to do a good job, you know. Yeah, yeah. Right, let's fuse that then. And then we are all prepped and we are good to go. Yeah. Dee-dee-dee-dee. So the first thing we're going to do is put in the zip, but just on one side, not the lining. So the lining gets made completely separately. So it is a little bit strange, but I promise you it's all good. It's all good. Right. So this is my outer, all interfaced and good to go. I probably should have gone with like a grey zip or something, but we laugh in the face of grey. I'm going to go with this, with a teal one, because it's rather lovely. I'm going to move everything out of the way because we've done all of that. Whee! I'm going to pop these beautiful fabrics up on the dresser out of the way because, you know, I can now. Decisions. It's so hard to choose which one. Pop those up there. And now we can crack. Just littered zips everywhere. Everywhere, I tell you, everywhere. Now, you can pin your zip in place if you want. Or you can use your wash away quilter's tape. That's what I do. And just line it up against that edge there. And then just line the edge of your zip up along it. At this point, there's no right or wrong way. If, by the way, you wanted to do this with a directional fabric, you would just, when you, I would do your lining as your pattern piece and then cut it on the fold. Let me show you what I mean. So, for example, if this was directional, then what I would do is take this lining piece, fold it in half, and then add a 1/4 inch onto that. And cut it all out, add your 1/4 inch onto that, and then cut the other side with the direction going you wanted, and then just stitch the two together. And if you want to do two-tone, again, then what I would say is pick how far up you want the two-tone and just create your own pattern piece from folding up your lining, because your lining is always going to be the same size. So you can do that, or use that then to create your pattern. So if you wanted to, then I would fold that back there like that, and I would use that bit as my contrast, and just create your own pattern from there. If you want to do two-tone, you know, you might not. You might want to just do it all in one colour, and that's great. So we're going to stitch down there. Get that out of the way. I'm going to pop a little zippity zip foot on. Yeah. And stitch down. Now, here's the thing with zips. Forwards and back. And off we go. Now you can do that thing when you get near the zippity bit of, if it goes round, great. If not, just cast off and move the zip and then start back again. And then just press your zip like that. You can take it to the machine, you can press it if you want. But you're just going to top stitch. Normally you see you'd do this with your lining fabric as well, wouldn't you? But I just want that fabric to sit away from the zipper so that it doesn't interfere. So that's one side done, and then you're going to bring this side up onto there and repeat, but first I'm going to pop some tape on there. So that's how it's looking. I'm now going to pop some tape along there. Tape just stops, helps me stop, helps me not have to pin, because otherwise you're battling pins and everything else. It was a tip given to me by bag makers, and they use it all the time. I'm like, yeah, that is a good tip. So that's why I always use it. There we go. Now again, just lining everything up nicely. And also it's, you know, it's repositionable. If you just sort of press down lightly on it, then if you do need to move it about, it's really not the end of the world. And then just get that little bit of zip there. Now, yes, it is like that. It's okay. Open your zip up. This is again why it's handy not to have all your pins and everything on there. You can just stitch down. Now I'm going to need that shut on coming down there. But you know that you've got everything in the right place, so just stitch down. There we go. And then, again, we will, it's a bit funny, isn't it? At this point, take that off, take it off, and then you can get at everything more easily, and that's fine. But we're going to just top stitch down where that zip is, and that's just, so just finger press it out the way, and it's literally just to keep it from getting in the zip, okay? So we go, down we go. Now you might be someone who likes to stitch their zip right up close. For me, I'm using quite a zhuzhy colour compared to the rest, so I'm really happy for some of that zip to be seen. Now, if you are really unsure, if you've got yourself in a pickle, I've only got a tiny bit left to stitch, but what you can always do, of course, don't forget, is go on with the other side. That's why zipper feet have got two sides. So if I want to come down and meet it the other side, then I absolutely can. And because of how I've lined everything up as I've gone along, then I'm happy that I'm going to meet my stitching. There we go. And we're all good, and I can just, and I can just cut any bits that we need, any little snippety bits that we need to. Right in front of me, every time. So if you've got any little threads that you want to snip, snip, snip. Or if you're worried about it, don't do it in a contrast thread. You know, there is always that. Right, the next bit, we are going to have these little bits here. You can do it with little bits of ribbon if you want. If you want to go for something contrasting completely, then you can. Or if you want to just go with the same colour, then do. You can do them any size you want, really. What I did, there was me saying, we've done all the cutting, it's fine. I put my rulers out of reach, really out of reach, really out of reach. It's fine. I'm going to make them, I'm going to cut 2.5 by about 2. Now this is always going to be personal preference as to how wide you want them. But again, from there, as we found the edges, you're going to fold it in half like you do your binding, into the middle, press, and then fold it again. Okay, so fold it first of all in half, and there we go. Into the middle, press again, and then fold it in half. You could do this lining colour if you wanted. If you wanted to have a contrast, you can do that. It's entirely, up to you. If you want to make it really crisp, get your best press out and do that. There we go. And then all I would say is just stitch down both sides. Make a feature of your stitching, especially as I've gone for a bright colour here because obviously I want you to be able to see the stitching. But just top stitch down the side. There we go. And flip it around. Ooh. And then we go the next way. And if you make your stitching more or less even down both sides, then it just looks like a feature. Whilst everything is reinforced. There we go. and then just snip them apart. Tidy up anything that you need to tidy up. Just bear in mind that's going to be in your seam, so don't worry, I've got a little bit of nesting there. Doesn't matter, it's going to be in my seam. Don't stress it. And then it's going to be folded in half and put into my seam allowance. Let's go. So we need it to be this shape, okay? So that's what we've just sewn, isn't it? And we now need it to be that shape. And at the point where your zip is, so that middle point, fold these pieces in half and put the folded edge in first, in there, lining up in that center bit there. Now you can clip that, pin that, do whatever you want just to hold that just in place. Oof, my pin might be a bit fine for that. And then we're just going to sew along there. You can sew 1/4 of an inch if you want. I'm going to sew slightly more, just because, really. It's not the best script, just because I can, because I can. I just want to make sure that everything is nice and secure. But of course your 1/4 of an inch was what you cut your, so gently does it over that zip. So if everything is cut nicely, you can go in at 1/4 of an inch. Oh. And then if you want to just neaten up along there, then you can. There we go. And then we're going to flip and repeat the other side. Now this side, as you can see, it's going to go fold in half. So this is where your center is. And pop it in there and then pin those together and then stitch along there or clip. I'm going to come back here and pin. And this side, you want to open your zip up, by the way, at this point. So you will want to pin down those 2 top bits so that they do stay where you want them to be. So listen to my own advice. Folded end in first. And that on there. Where are my clips? This would be much easier to just clip. The joy of the clip, everyone. Love the clips. There we go, one there. One there, boom, off we go. Let's go sew. There we go. Now, it comes together really quickly after this. You're going to box your bottom, okay? So just pull the seams apart and you're going to stitch 1/4 of an inch if you wish. So if you need to measure your middle bit, then do. But basically, go from that box corner, fold it at that corner, and you're going to sew straight along there. Just have a little play if you need to get it where you need it to be. And you repeat that for all 4 sides. There we go. Zip along there. I am forwarding and backing because this is going to be the bit that holds everything happily together. And you'll soon see that actually once you get going with it, this bit comes together. The tricky bit, the bit that takes the time, is actually just all the cutting out. Now, if you don't want to faff about with having, worrying about your wadding being a quarter of an inch, then don't worry. You'll just be sewing through your wadding here as well. You'll just have a little bit of extra bulk. And that's kind of okay too. It's whatever, hang on, have I done all of them now? Oh, no, I've got another one to do here. It's whatever's going to work for you, okay? So if you just want to cut your wadding to the exact same size, then do. There we go, last one. There's no rights or wrongs with all of this kind of thing. You know, you do it to whatever you want. And then flip it through. Yeah. So that is our outer. Done. Done. Yay. And you can see it's got a nice bit of spring to it. Oh, these are going to make a really nice little series, aren't they, actually? Oh, yeah. Oh, you've got to decide which ones. Now, with this, with the lining, it's a little bit different because we're going to fold over on this top line where the zip will be attached. We're going to fold over by 1/4 of an inch. Now, if you've cut your interfacing accurately, then you can just fold that over. Otherwise, do yourself a favour, tape it, and then just give it a little press, because that gives you an edge to work to, and it just makes such a cheat, isn't it? Oh, I love a good cheat. And not a cheat that's ever going to hurt anyone, none of that. You know, not like cheating in your maths exam type cheat, but a little, okay, should I call it a life hack instead? Does that sound better? A little life hack, little sewing hack, top tip. There you go, give that a quick press if you want. Da, 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 da. And again on the other side, and then we basically make the lining but without the zip. Ooh. Weird, huh? So I'm going to be accurate on this and get that right up against that top edge. And then fold that over. So if you can be, you know, accurate with your interfacing, then great. If, like me, everything tends to go to pot when you put under pressure, even though that's my own pressure, like nobody else's, fine, then that's all good. So, can you imagine this is how it would come together. So what we're going to do is line these edges up properly, like right on the edge there, right on the edge there, and you will have a gap. Can you see? You're going to have a gap. Let me give you that on a close-up because this is a bit weird. But you're going to have a gap. So when you line this edge up here and you line that edge up there, you're going to have a gap, and that's absolutely fine because that is where your zip, etc., is going to sit. So let's zip down here. Stitch along there. Not in the right place there. Stitch along there. whilst I'm here, I may just as well, and again, just repeating those boxed corners. So you're going to do your lining exactly now. So let's do both my boxed corners, whip those up. Hello. And then again, lining up these edges here and stitching them along. So it is repetitive. Yeah, it is. You obviously would do this probably in a colour that is going to sit in nicely rather than be quite so glaringly obvious. Or not. Maybe you like to have a contrast. That's also absolutely fine. But oh my goodness, just do it in fabrics that you love. Maybe you're going to do it in your capes that you got last week. Maybe you're going to do it in your Tula pinks, because we don't often get Tula pink, so it's really nice to grab it when you see it. But do it in what you love. Who was I talking to about this the other day? And just saying it's really, really easy to think, oh, I might mess it up. I've not done something like this before. I might mess it up, so I'm not going to use my best fabric, and that's fine. But you know, do use up your best as well, because for me, every day should be best. That's kind of where I go with it. Now, this now, you turn around the right way. Oh, hello, just missed a corner off there. Let me go back in my haste. So this is it, you shouldn't do things quickly, should you? Because you mess things up. Or rather, I shouldn't. You probably have done it perfectly at home. Me, I should not have done that so quickly. There we go. I just didn't fold it quite properly. There we go. So fold that through. Ease out all those corners. And you've basically got another one, but what you're going to do now is turn this the wrong way through. You're going to pop that inside. And what you'll see is that the zip sits quite nicely in there, and then all you need to do is then hand stitch the lining on, and that goes all the way up, and it will then stitch along that bottom bit there, and then you'll have that. And that is how you're going to get that absolute perfect lining with no innards showing on your inside. Clever, hey? So it'll be, what, 5 minutes worth of stitching, but it does just sit, whoops, so nicely just in there. And that's it. That's it. Whatever size you like. And that is what the pattern that I will write up this afternoon is going to show you how to do. There you go. So who have we got? Who have we got? Hello. Their point is, haha, you missed that one. Elizabeth, I'm going to assume that we're talking back about these. Brilliant. Who else? What else? What else? Oh, looks great for scoring the rind on a pork joint for crackling. What did? What bit? Which bit? Any of these blades you can use for cooking because you can wash them and they're not, they won't rust. That's the beauty of them. So I also, I've bought quite a lot of these as well for my husband for his catering stuff because again, you're right, it's gonna work great. Was it this one for scoring? Whoosh, on the old pork. Work a treat that one. And what else? What else? Oh yeah, Elizabeth loves a new gadget. Can I do stars with the camera? No, I can't. Why? Maybe I'll just need to hang some stars from the ceiling. So last week on a Facebook Live, I could do stars and all sorts. Can't do it on this one. It's disappointing, isn't it? Alrighty then. It's a bit of love for my pink leggings. Yeah. Margaret loves the lilies, and those are gorgeous. The smell is amazing. I know that the pollen is poisonous to cats. That was actually shut this morning. That's only opened this morning, so I will get rid of those. You'll notice HP and Theo aren't in here today, and that is why. Keep them in the fridge and they should be fine. What are we keeping in the fridge? Who knows? Oh, what, the nuts? Should I have kept the nuts in the fridge? Oh, it's too late. They were like really out of date. I don't know how long they've been there, but they'd obviously been over in there for a long time. You see lots of you saying keep ground almonds in the fridge. I did not know this. I obviously the truth is, I obviously bought them when I was having some kind of health kick or some other thing and thought, oh yeah, that'll be good. Oh yeah, the birds will love my Christmas cake. Will they get drunk on the brandy? I put in like 3/4 of a bottle of brandy. That's the bit I'm really cross about. Julia says, "Oh, Tula mustn't look." Well, I don't get Tula often, Julia. So if you do want to look because it's rather gorgeous. And I've got 4 different colourways, and then there's a bit of Dana Designs plus other stuff. Lynn's busy making smarts for gifts, fabulous. And Myra's supposed to be making plum ketchup. That sounds amazing. Oh, that sounds amazing. But she can do it another day now. That's all right. That's all right. I've never heard of plum ketchup either. That sounds delish. Right. There is a lot of mess, yes. Am I going to do a digital print for the pouch? Carol, yes, I will. Obviously, we can't upload something I haven't written yet. And as soon as we come off air now, I'm going to write up this pattern so that you can do it the size that you want it to be. This morning was spent fine-tuning it, so I knew how I wanted it to be. This is the process. It takes hours. Yeah, and that's how it's going to be. So yes, there will be one. We'll hopefully get it up in the next day or so. So I'll let you know tomorrow if it's up, but do keep tuned. But yeah, it will be. There we go. Yeah, you see, Julia says that her she's not naturally tidy, but no one can see what it looks like in her craft room. Yes. Morning low. There we go. So I think they make great gifts. I think they make they're perfect for makeup, they're perfect for pens, they're perfect for everything. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea because for some reason my voice is trying to go today. I don't know where it's going. Possibly on holiday. A bit like my 2-year-old daughter that grabbed a bag and told me she was going on holiday. Fine. Alrighty then. I feel better, Donna. Donna says she's got at least 30 pairs of scissors. I feel better. I feel vindicated. Ali says, I don't want to teach you to bake, Tash. You can do it. I just want to be there to supervise so that you can have the confidence to know that you can do it. This is the ironic thing, Ali, is that the cake would have been beautiful had I not put rancid almonds in there. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Elizabeth. My cake would have been ace apart from the almonds. Yeah. Well, exactly, Laurie. They get handmade things instead. And that won't put weight on, so it's all good. Claire says, my kids are well grown up now. Begged me never to bake them birthday cakes, just buy them. I'm the same as you, Natasha. Even though I've always sewn, crocheted and painted, I just can't make a cake rise or look good. There must be a knack. I'm so pleased, Claire, that I'm not the only one. It's a good job that I'm not famous, isn't it? Because otherwise, what would happen if like Master Chef came and knocking on my door? Could you imagine? I'd be out in the first round. It'd be awful. And Natasha's doing cheese on toast. No, she's burnt it. All gone, all over. Didn't rise, did it? Yeah, we'll just use it as a doorstop. It's fine. It's all good. Guys, thank you so much for your company this morning. As ever, you have been fantastic. And yeah, thank you for your baking-based support. You see, this is it. It's Natasha Makes. It's not Natasha Bakes. It's all fine. I will see you with Jo Carter, who wouldn't have been able to eat my cake anyway because she's celiac, so that's fine. Yay, I can get away with just giving her a cup of coffee. Hooray! But she will be here tomorrow morning with gorgeous, gorgeous hoop heads. If you're wondering what we're talking about, you need to be here at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning because they are exclusive to Natasha Makes. So have a fabulous rest of your day, and I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.